You're about to hear a story that still feels surreal to me every time I think about it. It's a story of loyalty, betrayal, temptation, and choices that changed friendships forever. When I tell people what happened, they always ask me the same thing. How could you let yourself get caught up in that? But when emotions run high and temptation knocks at your door, sometimes logic gets drowned out. This is the story of how my best friend's ex walked into my life, and how everything spiraled from there. I should start by introducing the key players. My name is Daniel, though most of my friends call me Danny. My best friend since college was Mark. He and I were inseparable, late-night study sessions, weekend basketball games, road trips across the country. He was the brother I never had. Mark was also the type of guy everyone noticed when he walked into a room. Confident, outgoing, quick with a joke. And naturally, that meant women noticed him too. That's how he met Emily. Emily was striking. Long dark hair, a smile that could light up a crowded room, and a kind of effortless energy that drew people in. She and Mark dated for nearly 3 years. During that time, I was around her often. Group dinners, game nights, double dates. She wasn't just Mark's girlfriend. She became a friend to me too, someone I could talk to about things I didn't even tell Mark. But I always kept a respectful distance. She was his, and that was the end of the story. Or so I thought. When their relationship ended, it shook everyone in our circle. Mark had cheated on her, not once, but multiple times. Emily finally had enough and walked away. I remember the night she told me. Her voice cracked over the phone as she said, "I can't do this anymore. I deserve better." And she did. Still, it wasn't my place to interfere. My loyalty was to Mark, even if I didn't agree with what he had done. Months passed. Mark moved on quickly, as he always did, chasing new faces and new thrills. But Emily lingered in my mind. Every so often, I'd see her post something on social media, a sunset photo, a new book she was reading, a smile that seemed both free and fragile at the same time. I resisted the urge to reach out. But fate had other plans. One rainy evening, I ran into Emily at a small coffee shop near downtown. She was sitting alone by the window, stirring her drink absent-mindedly. When she saw me, her face lit up in surprise. "Danny, I haven't seen you in forever." What started as casual small talk stretched into hours. We talked about everything, life after Mark, the struggles of moving forward, the dreams we hadn't told anyone else. For the first time, I wasn't just Mark's friend in her eyes. I was simply me. From that night on, we started seeing each other more. Always by chance at first, then intentionally. Lunches turned into late-night walks. Conversations grew deeper. And with every laugh, every glance, I felt something I shouldn't have been feeling. There was a spark, undeniable, dangerous, and magnetic. One evening, Emily invited me over to her apartment to watch a movie. I told myself it was innocent, just friends catching up. But the atmosphere told a different story. The room was dim, the city lights glowing faintly through her window. She sat close to me on the couch, her shoulder brushing against mine. Halfway through the movie, she paused it, turned to me, and said quietly, "You're different from him, Danny. You actually listen. You actually care." My heart raced. I knew what was happening, and I also knew what it meant if I let it happen. The ghost of Mark's friendship loomed over me. But Emily's eyes searched mine with a vulnerability that pulled me in. In that moment, the tension that had been building for months snapped. She leaned forward, and I didn't stop her. That night, everything between us changed. The days that followed were a blur of secrecy and intensity. Every time I was with her, the world faded away. She made me feel seen in a way I never had before. But guilt followed me like a shadow. Mark didn't know, and for a while that made it easier to push the thought aside. But in the quiet moments, I'd hear his voice in my head, laughing, calling me his brother, trusting me. And I knew I was betraying that trust. The breaking point came one Saturday afternoon. Mark called me out of the blue and said, "Man, we haven't hung out in forever. Let's grab a drink tonight." My stomach dropped. By then, Emily and I weren't just a mistake that happened once. We were something real, something complicated, something I couldn't explain in a single sentence. I met up with Mark, and the whole time he talked about his new job, his new girl, his future plans, I couldn't shake the weight pressing down on me. He had no idea, and I couldn't tell him. Not yet. Emily and I kept our secret for months, always teetering between passion and guilt. But secrets have a way of clawing their way into the light. One evening, Mark showed up at Emily's place unexpectedly. He wanted to apologize, to make peace with his past. And that's when he saw me there. The look on his face said it all: confusion, betrayal, heartbreak. You. Of all people, Danny. You. His voice cracked, and for the first time since I'd known him, he looked truly broken. That night ended our friendship. He walked out, and we haven't spoken since. Emily tried to comfort me, but even she knew the cost of what we had built. Love, if that's what it was, came at a price far greater than we expected. To this day, I wonder if I made the right choice. Did I follow my heart, or did I just let temptation destroy the one bond one thought could never break? I share this story not to glorify what happened, but to be honest about the messiness of human emotions. We like to think we're in control, that we can draw clear lines between right and wrong. But when feelings get involved, those lines blur quickly. I lost a brother that day, and though I gained something with Emily, it came with scars that will never fully heal. So if you take anything from this story, let it be this: loyalty and love are both powerful forces. But when they collide, the choices you make will follow you for the rest of your life.